Our guest for the next hour is John Wangai Wanjohi. He is a member of Bungel, Mwananchi, Utawala. He joins us today because he'd like to raise an issue of public concern, at least according to him. Constitutional leadership. We have a constitution that sets up various institutions in place and leadership positions. And John feels like those institutions are not doing their job. So he's here to tell us what he feels about that. John, good morning.
Morning.
Good to have you here. Karibu sana.
Asante.
You know the drill. We normally begin the conversation with Jano giving you the day's quote.
Yeah.
So you'll get the quote.
Yes, absolutely. Today's quote is by Grace Ogot. She was a Kenyan journalist, politician. She was one of the first Kenyan members of parliament, women. So she's quite a trailblazer. She once said, "History is not the past alone. It is the present consequences of that past."
Wow. I think we are defined by where we come from.
Yeah.
Because were it for not the process that creates something, we cannot be defined as a whole. So I think our history defines where we're going. That's why there are some ambitions people are putting out here, and looking from where we're coming, we don't have the history to support that.
Yeah, it's a very important perspective. Yeah, that's good.
Wow. Nice one. John,
Yep.
constitutional leadership.
Yep.
What's your understanding of that?
When we go to churches, we have Bibles, and they need more than just elaboration. Maybe you could need some spiritual guidance. You could need some interpretation of some sort. But we are guided by this book that we wrote ourselves. I think it's too early to say that our forefathers, but because it's just 2010, just the other day, most of these people who wrote the Constitution are still alive. And so it is, some of them, like Baba, we can classify them as our forefathers. It is too soon to start neglecting living by this book. And it does not need any interpretation aside from just understanding the English. Maybe you could find maybe a word or two that is that would need a low intellect to describe for you, but generally it's plain English.
It's straightforward.
Yes.
But with that said, where do you think, when it comes to young people, the best understanding of the Constitution is, and where do you think the confusion comes in, if at all? From your perspective, when it comes to young people, the Constitution and leadership, do you feel there are areas that still aren't quite grasped? Not because of intellect, but maybe just because it may not make sense to their current circumstance? And if so, yeah, talk to us about that.
Like we said, history defines where we're going. And if you look from where we came, from the Moi's era, Moi used his MPs so that if you elect a Moi MP, you get development. So that understanding that if I am your MP and I'm close to power, you'll get development, has eroded the shift of mind from the constitutional-led ways of doing things. Now we want to be close to power, we want to do this, and generally, if you look at the leadership, it's all about promises. It's not about what the law says. Yeah.
When you think of how that has evolved over the years, what do you think has changed in how we do the politicking, if anything at all? Because yes, it was a certain person from a certain region gets this and this and that.
Yeah.
Do you think that has changed now? Is it a certain person from a certain region, or now it looks different, this kind of trade?
There are several angles to look at from when you say a person from this region.
Right.
You could be meaning tribal, and you could be meaning regions.
Yes.
Our tribal division is so deep that the Constitution has really identified that. That is why in appointments you are told to look at regional balances.
Yes.
But that aside, if we could just use the Constitution as it is, we do the regional balances, but for the development, we do as per the law.
Okay.
Because that will be balancing everyone to feel welcomed at the table. There are minority groups. If you say that they're entitled to the equal share, I find that a little bit unfair to the majority. Maybe, and the law now equates that, because now it brings the ways in which you're supposed to do things, not the way you think you're supposed to do things. Our Constitution has an entire chapter on finance. It has an entire chapter on devolution. It has an entire chapter on equitable disbursement. So if we just stick to what we are told, and
So just to take you back,
Yep.
when you said you find it unfair for, now like the majority, when
Yes.
there's this equitable share.
Yes.
Explain that.
because you see, the majority will also bring more revenue. If it's let's say Nairobi here. Nairobi brings the most revenue in the country because it has the most people doing business, living here. Unlike a place like, I'm really sorry to use this, Moyale. Because Moyale people, they are scattered all over. They are not concentrated. The economy is not a concentrated economy. So if you say that you're going to deny people some services in Nairobi to develop Moyale, it will be quite unfair because we need it here. What we say, there's equalization fund. That's the role of that.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to actually go back. I think he was breaking something down, but I was like, actually,
Okay.
tell us a little bit about being a member of Bungel, Mwananchi, Utawala, and what is it that sparked your passion to make the Constitution sort of like the supreme document, which it is, that people need to point to. But take us through some of the work that you do.
You see, I'm an ordinary Kenyan. I face ordinary problems, and I sit with ordinary people. At Bunge la Wananchi Utawala, there are forums, there are discussions. But just like any other bunge ya mashinani huku, there are those common politics that are not informed by the Constitution. They are just informed by who is who. And for us, we are very lucky because, like, our Member of Parliament, Mr. Babu, is very involved. And you'll find that he will not participate in some things, but he will participate in development issues. So, personally, I raised the alarm because if you look at the past by-elections, it was not about the Constitution. It was about is it UDA winning? Is it DCP winning or the opposition? If we go away from UDA and DCP, I think we are a much better place in the Constitution.
We would be in a much better place constitutionally. That's true. When I'm thinking young people being for this kind of leadership, for example, let's start with Utawala, which is home base, home ground,
Yep.
right? would you say the public participation levels are sufficient? For example, when the Nairobi County Assembly wants to pass something or other, are the people of Utawala, the young people of Utawala, engaging? Are they coming to the baraza? Are they sending their views in?
That is tricky because we have to be honest. Some information to reach someone, you have to know someone. And if you don't know the right channels to look for the information, you won't know.
Like public participation forums.
Yeah, public participation forums. Most young youths, young people will shun because one, they didn't have the information that there was. Because it is not publicly known. I think there's a failure in communication because for any public participation, the media is supposed to be involved. Use the right channels where the youths are there. Maybe the social media. There's a disconnect between the leadership and the young people. Either they don't just understand where they are, or they're just ignorant. Yep.
You said reaching them also becomes hard. So social media would be a viable option. Like, realistically, would that be the right way to reach the young people of Utawala? Is it that we have a county assembly TikTok page that updates us, or that does like a dance challenge, and then at the end it's like, kujeni hapa, social hall, tutakuwa na baraza, 5 p.m. on Monday. Is that what that looks like, or what does that inclusion look like for young people?
I'll give you an example. Back in 2024, when the Gen Z protests were going on, youth came up and put up a few WhatsApp groups that they needed to communicate. Some of them still exist right now. The chiefs comes, the chief offices, that this is where the youth go to get jobs. And for you to get these jobs, you have to know someone. You get, information is not readily available for everyone. Mark you, the public participation is not genuine as it should be, because this is someone just who wants just to show that this was done, so that whatever they want pass should go through. Because if I am a young person and I know that NTV is for the young people, why not choose NTV? Why not pay good money where everyone is, majority of people are watching or listening? Yeah, we are here on Twitter, on X, we are out there on TikTok. Put something on TikTok today, it will go viral. Yeah, just the right channels. Yep.
So you're saying that for that reason, the youth do not participate because they don't have access to information. Have you ever participated yourself, John? Have you ever gone for public participation meeting, baraza?
Yeah, mostly I go for constituency programs, because at least for our MP, he does reach out quite well.
How does he do that?
Through WhatsApp, through the group. You will find a post on the forum on the Bungel Wananchi. You will find a post on his status. By the way, he's very nice with communicating. And then you will find even your local mzee wa mtaa anajua kwa sababu chief alimwambia. So like a good example is last week he came to disband bursaries, and it was a full pack place.
Because there was prior communication.
Yeah, prior communication and the right information.
But this is just the member of parliament.
Yeah.
This is what Embakasi East, is it?
Yes.
Okay. There are MCAs here,
Yes.
or informed people such as yourselves in the Bungel Mwananchi.
Yes.
When one of you gets to know that there's a planned meeting by the county assembly to have a public participation, or by the county executive for public participation forum, do you spread it in the same forums?
You'll tell a friend, but you can only tell so much.
Why can't you put it in the Bungel Mwananchi groups?
Some of them they are posted there, some are not.
Okay. So once that they are posted there, why don't people show up?
That is why I said it depends who wants who to know.
Okay, and that's what I'm pushing back on. You see, if as youth you say that the constitution is very clear, there should be public participation, and you know that you have observed that there have been underhand games in trying to stifle public participation and to engineer, to manufacture consent by calling people who are only yes people to come for a public participation meeting. Why don't you devise other ways of making sure that you know about the public participation or attending those public participation forums?
The youths are quite tired, literally right now. Given that the Mandamano of 2024 didn't yield so much, it was overtaken by other events and very irrelevant. So I think the end game right now is voting. And that is why now it's better now to sensitize people why they are voting, who they should vote in, and how to pick one.
So the youth are feeling like they lost the momentum after 2024, and now they are seeing that their next momentum should be in the voting.
Yes.
So what conversations are the youth having then? Are they actually having those conversations of who to vote for and how to identify who to vote for? Truthfully.
Yeah, let's speak truthfully. If I were asked today who I should vote for in this coming general election, 2027, I would probably vote for myself. Because I trust what I want and I am clear of what I want. All other leaders are, let's say the truth, like they are going there for selfish gains. Because we don't have any other new player coming in. I think if we had an alternative, a person who is speaking constitutionally, the one thing that made Baba relevant all these years is because he stood by the document. And he used the document to challenge the powers. And this was his grip all along. So the relevance right now, if we don't get now to talk about the document itself, how to make it alive and effective, I don't think to corner the best chances. I don't know.
You've given up, John.
No, these are...
Because you're only saying you can only vote for yourself. There are 6 positions. Right? You'll vote for yourself in all 6. And who else would vote for you? I mean, you're not even talking, because my question was, what kind of conversations are these that the youth are having? From your own forums at Bungel Mwananchi, if you actually do attend the Utawala forums regularly, what are they discussing in the Utawala, Bungel Mwananchi? And beyond that, in other smaller forums, what are people saying with regards to identifying a leader for the next election or voting better in the next election?
Currently, as it is, there are already people who are out there displaying themselves and offering themselves for elective posts. Of course, you have sycophants, you have supporters, and everyone shouting every time. But there's no substantive decision that we want to vote for this person, because there's nothing clear, because the rhetoric is the same. Takufanyia. Whereas if you look at the constitutional requirement of a leader who you're supposed to elect, is not to build roads. It's maybe, if it's for a member of parliament, is to legislate, oversight, But when someone like an MCA says they'll build you roads, how are they going to build you roads? Is that their constitutional duty? Some of these funds, like the NGCDF, should be terminated or ought to be terminated as per the constitution, so that people are doing what they're supposed to do. So there's nothing new that is being shared out there to say that now we can choose this person. It is the same
John,
old.
You know, and I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is you're looking at the options in front of you, and you're frustrated by the options in front of you.
Yes.
Okay? But those are options in front of you. Do you know what you want? 'Cause I think it starts from that. Not you, John, but you know, as a voter.
As a voter.
Do voters understand what they want? Do they understand the roles of the different seats? So that if a guy who wants to become an MCA comes and tells me that they're going to improve Outer Ring Road, I tell them this is not your job. Outer Ring Road does not belong to the county assembly, right? So do the people know what they want?
No.
How do we then bring that conversation into people deciding what they want? As you're saying, people are frustrated because 2024 did not go how they wanted. I'm not even sure they were frustrated because I'm not sure they knew what they wanted.
That's okay.
I think they knew what they wanted.
Which was?
The burden of tax. And they wanted a better life. You know, we came from a point where Bunge was, Uhuru had some money put there to regulate the prices of unga.
Yeah.
We came from a place where Linda Mama was working. We came from a place where we had some goodies working. And then all of a sudden they're not, and then taxes are being increased. We could say we lost, but we didn't lose directly because the supplementary budget still went through.
I think it was a start. You want to come in?
No.
I'm trying to thread. I think the reject finance bill, it's hard. People collectively, everybody we need the tax burden lifted.
Yeah.
I know the conversation since then has been whether or not there was a loss from there. I still think it was a win because civic education opened up.
Right.
Maybe now the question is, did it open up fully to constitution, to the different roles of the 6 different people to vote for?
Right.
I don't know if that was there. Then I keep going back to something Eric says, which is, if you want this information, it is there.
It's right there.
It's right there. So now it's that balance of, is it that it's fatigue? Is it that it's oversight fatigue? Is it discouragement that's keeping people, not just young people, but today we're speaking young people, from now following through with what they started then and saying, guys, I know that it didn't end well. People lost lives, people lost hope. But now moving forward, let's, I don't know practically what it'll look like, John will say, let's every month or every other week, let's have a baraza. Let's give it a different title. This time it's MCA, and we're going to talk about what MCAs do and how we should vote for them.
Right.
Next week, but one, let's now talk about your MP and what their role is. And when we do that, we also showcase some of the individuals who we feel can take us there. Okay. Maybe it's going that granular and practical, also because we have 1.5 years or maybe less.
Very little time. No, I hear you. Sorry. I was going to also posit that 2024 was very much unified against one thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. So the push against the tax measures that were coming in, that was well understood across the board. Everyone is an expert. Suddenly, we are all, we all understand the budget making process and so on and so forth. But now the accountability push that has followed, or whatever changes were meant to follow, or that people are hoping, I don't think that was as unified as reject finance bill. That was one clarion call from young people, but from the country as a whole. No one wanted it. Well, almost no one. Now the whole thing of threading into accountability, into fixing, into constitute the IEBC so that we can recall them. That here, there, which I think may be part of the problem. But you also wanted to respond, John. Yeah.
I think we are always losing in the sense that there is no accountability. People do things and walk. I think that is the first frustration that everyone is tired of. If all the constitutional offices would work, the Constitution says they should work for the betterment of the law and the creation of the law. Yeah? But if the Auditor General report comes out every year, we see how funds were stolen, how funds have been lost, but we do not have any tangible processes going on, only that the EACC is just a puppet to mimic their functions, but they're not doing really anything. If every year, when the Auditor General pulls out a report, and then every year we see people getting jailed, I think that would spark some faith in the institutions. But till to date, you'll find that the Auditor General sometimes is revealing reports 2 years later after things have happened. How are you going to trail these losses? But if we push for the offices, constitutional offices, to do as they should, like no budget should be passed until the audits are completed before we go to another financial year, I think it would make a lot of sense.
It would restore faith.
Yes.
So let's go back to what would it look like practically right now for youth to quite practically mobilize or organize ahead of 2027 with the Constitution? I know it's a big question, but what does that look like? Because again, if you hear some of the questions that I think Eric was raising of what conversations are you having, what do you really want, who do you really want to vote for? If you were given that, mandate, so to speak, how do you think people can organize consistently, practically, as young people ahead of 2027? Because right now it's quite fragmented. Right now there's still a lot of disenfranchisement with young people not registering to vote. So what do you think needs to be done for that to happen?
Information. My friend Nganga Mugai is pushing for the Constitution to be brought back to schools, to be taught in schools. Meaning that if that was successful, people would now, from a tender age, grow knowing this is a member of parliament, their roles are this and this. But currently, the information we have is the Constitution. Just read a chapter a day. There are only 18 chapters. Read a chapter a day. If there is anything, you'll Google anything that you won't understand. Maybe the hard words. But a chapter a day, we read the Constitution a chapter a day. It won't even take us a whole month. Yeah. We will have a lot of information on our hands. And Nganga Mugai is the person who really challenged me to read the Constitution and the whole of it. And another friend of mine, whom we were reading with, challenged me that for every chapter, let's jot down what we are entitled as a people. So when you go looking for what you're entitled to in the Constitution, you'll find that whatever you're looking for, you'll find it in every chapter. Yeah.
It's right there. Okay.
We'll find it there.
They will find it, yeah.
Okay, it is there.
Yeah.
Finding it, now that requires a bit of active, proactivity.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about leadership that is also pro-constitution, speaks to ethics, values, how they're rooted, right? I think if you're essentially an ethical person, you'll align with the Constitution, and vice versa. If you're unethical, utajipata tu nje, outside of the lines. Are there criteria that as young people we could use to make sure that the leaders that we are pushing for or that we're aligning with are ethical? let me give you an example. We get,
I get.
we get lied to. People, come with promises, and then 2 years, 3 years in, it's a scandal, or the county has lost this or that, or the member of parliament has disappeared. You voted for them, never to be seen again until the next election cycle. So how do we foolproof ourselves as far as ethical?
It is very simple. Our problem as a nation, when we start looking where we went wrong, it started with the parliament.
Right.
Parliament is the source of all evils we have in the country, because it is the most powerful house that can summon the Chief Justice and punish him or her, the office holder.
Yeah.
It is the only house that can summon the president, impeach him, and start a process of prosecuting the person holding the office. So, if we get it right with Parliament, we have everything right.
Okay. That Eric would agree.
Co-sign.
That the house is the problem. But we are the ones putting these people in power.
out of not knowing how we should do that. You see, recalling a member of parliament right now is very tedious. It's not easy for you to recall a member of parliament. You have to go and prosecute him in high court. They're found guilty, and then you come now bring that to parliament for them to be impeached through the verdict. But you see, the Constitution also gives the person a right for appeal. They'll keep appealing until you're exhausted. No one is capable to. Not so many young people have the finances to keep up with the lawyers, unless maybe the lawyers do pro bono. Now, the only way we have is now understanding how we should do this, understanding who we should elect, and if there's no one to elect, offer ourselves for the positions. Yeah.
I come back into that original question because it starts with whom we elect.
Yeah.
And whom do we want to elect? Not who's on the ballot and who's on what political party. Whom do we want to elect? Once you've said whom we want to elect, then and why, then electing them becomes now the next thing. I am not sure that as citizens of this country, we're at that point where we care who we elect. We don't seem to care who we elect. And there are 6 seats again. We don't care who we elect as MCA, and if we care who we elect as MCA, then we don't care who we elect as governor. If we care who we elect as governor, we don't care who we elect as woman rep. So we end up basically, you'll find, based on various interests, you'll have someone whom you care, whom you elect because of something. Either you know them, either they are close to you, they are in your circles. The rest, we just don't seem to care.
I would differ.
Tell me.
Because our elections are pillared around promises and not individual promises, tribal promises. Our region will get this, our people will have this, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that we don't care, it's that we generalize everything. But we should go to vote as per the individual experiences in life. Like everyone who gave birth during the Uhuru tenure did not pay a dime in hospital.
Well, some had to.
Yeah,
Some had to get harambees by Mike Sonko paying for people at Pumwani. This thing we talk about at Linda Mama was so clean. In fact, the jury is not out. It was not 100% clean.
But
we now come back to romanticize about it because it's no longer here.
no. Maybe it is not clean because you didn't experience it. But the people who experienced it can attest to it being.
I agree, John. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, not everybody who experienced it has a positive thing to say about it. And it's all documented. It was in the news constantly. We were in the news talking about this Linda Mama. Money has not been released by the national government to NHIF to pay for Linda Mama. So NHIF is unable to pay for Linda Mama. I mean, these were common stories.
Yes.
The 30 billion shillings that you hear NHIF went down with is money that the national government did not remit. It was Linda Mama money. It was government employees' money. It was money for the elderly. It was money for school-going children.
Yeah. But
let's just say it worked. Continue with your argument. Let's continue with your line of argument, because that's not the issue you're raising. It is, I was saying that we don't seem to care who we elect. And you're saying that we care whom we elect in various ways.
yeah, because we don't elect them from personal point of view. We elect them from regional and tribal point of views. And that is where our leaders have taken advantage of fully. Now, if you want to be heard, sema watu wetu. If you harass, sema mimi mtu wenyu wananifanya. So we do things in a general way. But if we could come back to do things as individuals, because you have a kid to take to school, and the Constitution says that your kid should go to school free, then the Member of Parliament who's coming to campaign to you, he should assure you that in my constituency, my people will go to school for free. I will make sure that through Parliament, I bring a motion to make the emphasis. Another thing, our budget making processes are very much, I would say, leaning towards the executive agendas. They are not based on the people's demand or requirements. I think we should do a constitutional review so that before any budget is made, every member of parliament submits a project that his people want. Yeah? So that when you go to parliament, you know this year we have tackled this issue and it must be tackled in the budget. So that it is not handouts by the president or the ministries. It is a constitutional requirement that every member submits a project for their constituency. Right? Then we make a budget, a national budget based on this. Right? But when we go to budget making processes right now, we will go according to whatever the agenda of the executive is. It doesn't balance what our needs are. It will balance according to what he wants to achieve. Neglecting the fact that is it a basic need for us?
Yeah.
Or is it really relevant for us?
Neglecting the priorities.
Yes. Our members of parliament are elected to represent our issues. And in those issues, they should be able to submit at least a project that must be done by the national government every year, so that they are busy now making the correct laws. Yeah. Because now they are weaponizing what they should do against us. Now the NGCDF is used against us. Kama hamtanipigia kura, watoto sitawapea basari, ama basari zitatoka kwa wakina fulani, hii mtaa yenyu hamkunipigia kura. Now they are weaponizing this thing. Yeah.
How do we flip that around? Because, everybody has a weapon. If someone says, kama mkunipigia kura, stopea watu wa area hii basari, you can, the kura is also your weapon.
Yeah.
Kama unaleta ufala, next ballot you're also out. How do we flip that script?
But you see, kura being a weapon doesn't necessarily mean that the person you will not elect has lost because he's gone with millions of money. So either way, ameshinda tu, because he will not be investigated, he will not take responsibility for any money lost.
Right. Which brings me still back to my question on like what's our like criteria for ethical leaders. You know, how do we find them? Because yeah, you're right. If I wait for you to get in power, then you threaten me with a bursary, then I remove you, you've already had your chance to eat. So how do I get you before the ballot? How do I figure out this is the person that should be in this position before we get to the ballot? How do we figure out who's an ethical leader?
You see, that's kind of very difficult to do, to figuring out who is ethical, who is not. But I think we can use our laws to enforce that.
Okay, how so?
If our laws are, maybe for example now, Parliament passes a lot of budget. It allocates a lot of money to different places. But with the proposal that our budget will only cater for all the submissions that are brought by the members of Parliament for the national government to implement, you will not have any leakages, because you know mwaka huu our constituency tumepitisha tunataka kitu fulani. Yeah? Na isipofanyika, you people on the ground are seeing haijafanyika. You see? So re-election will not be easy for that person, because you failed us year 1, you did not bring us water. Year 2, you're supposed to build this thing. Or year 3, something like this. Because if we say that we want now to identify an ethical person, maybe for starters, you learn a lot from what people speak or how they talk. Maybe we listen to their kind of campaign and what are they promising, because a promiscuous person is very dangerous. But we need people who are speaking the constitutional talk. Yeah, we need people who are saying that the Constitution says this, we have been denied this. When I go to Parliament, I'll make sure this law is passed. Not come tell us that we will give you this money. The money is not the function of the MP. The MP is just to allocate and to make sure that this money goes where it's supposed to go. But you find that now the executive will make budgets, and then the MP will come and pass these budgets, and then they go get kickbacks because the projects will not go on. They will get the money back as kickbacks. That's why you'll see them going to State House, because it is sorry, it's their right. They pass this bill, they pass this budget, yeah. So they're going to be paid as kickbacks.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just going online. In my mind, I keep trying to see what other youth populations have done to shift. So Nepal and Bangladesh always come to mind. I try to look at the population to be like, is there really any need to compare? But I think the common thing I'm seeing is a unified, radical, and consistent approach. I don't know whether that's part of what keeps us from progressing as like, because the youth bloc in all these countries is the majority, and they've realized that, and then they've moved. I think Nepal, is it on the 12th of February this month? They're going
it's going
to be the election. And they're saying it's very likely, and we'll only know that day, that Gen Z will carry their vote, and that they're thinking along the same line. Nepal was the same thing. They used Discord. They're 30 million population of Nepal, but they used Discord to shift the course of the country. Right. So I keep going back to what will it take here? We were at the precipice. So were they. They were discouraged. They were pushed back on. Then they were like, Apana, we are still going to mobilize and move. That's what keeps going in my mind, is what is that moment? Because I hear where John is coming from. It's like constitution, yes. Education, information, civic education, yes. But maybe there's a feeling that not everybody is on the same page. Not everybody has the same fire. Not everybody has the same passion as young people. What will it take so that then it can go the way the other countries did? Have I made sense?
Yes.
I'm thinking out loud and
Yes.
asking at the
No,
same
no.
time.
It has.
Yeah.
Even, not even does everybody have the same, but even within the young people.
Yeah.
Is it like, again, we've asked, is this one homogenous like glob that is thinking the same and, or is it just many factions that happen to find common ground on one issue that one time in June 2024?
Yeah.
More that, I think.
You see, why ours was not very effective is because when we go back to our people, my people, not everyone will come out here to fight the government because they believe their person is being fought. But if information is well filtered to the people and everybody has the right information, we all come out uniformly and we come out for the same agenda, not caring whether we talk the same language or whether we come from the same region. That is the only problem we have. That not every religion will come out. That is why you find Luo Nyanza has always been dragged back. And now that they are getting development, give and take, the Ruto administration right now is doing something in Luo Nyanza. And they are feeling that it is our time. It is our place now to do this. Now the rest of the country now are feeling like, now why are they getting this? Forgetting that all these years they've not been getting these things. Yeah. So the imbalance in the push,
outreach.
yes, yeah, affects this push for mass protest.
All right, let's wrap the conversation up there because of time. But thank you so much for joining us, John.
Thank you.
I think the idea of pro-constitutional leadership, especially among young people, it's how do I explain? Almost theoretical, right? So we need to have more conversations like this to make it practical and real. Thank you so much for making time for us. We have to wrap the show up there, but do not worry. We'll be back here 6 to 10 a.m. tomorrow to Fix the Nation. We're very ready for Tuesday. We also have Your World coming up. Today it's Winnie Lubembe talking about Beyond Bars, a life after imprisonment, what it looks like to rebuild lives and to rebuild hope. She has several guests, including someone who was formerly incarcerated, the Teresa Njoroge as well, who I think is also formerly incarcerated.
Yes, we had
her
hosted
here.
Yeah.
Annette Njoki, who is also formerly incarcerated, and Dr. Jacinda Ndegwa, who is a clinical psychologist and a senior lecturer at ILEU. Yes, they'll be talking about what it looks like to rebuild your life after incarceration. Also on Nation FM, Claudia Naisabwa and Brian Aseli take over for the Vibe Shift 96.3 Nation FM. So stay tuned to Patane Tuesday. I'll see you.